I'm biracial and I'm proud. I'm biracial and I proclaim it loud. I'm biracial, no hate can keep me down. No matter what my haters say, I proudly rep both of my races today. I'm biracial and I'm proud. I'm biracial and I proclaim it loud. I'm biracial and no hate can...
Hey, what's cracking, all? It's your angry biracial, back with another video. This reaction is gonna be a bit different. I'm going to react to an old TV show done by Ice Cube. I remember watching this show when it first came out. It was very cringy back then, and I'm eager to see if it's still just as cringy nearly 20 years later. In this show, they take two families, one white, one black, and they essentially put the white family in blackface and make them look black, and put the black family in whiteface and make them look white. And they supposedly do the makeup so well that no one can tell that they're not their actual race. And they put them out in the world to interact. The whole premise of the show is to kind of bring white and black people together by allowing the other to put aside their prejudices and biases for the other group and walk in the other's shoes for a few days. This is going to be very interesting, being someone who is biracial, who identifies as biracial. And I definitely code switch. When I'm around my Arab half, I act more Arab and I fit in with my Arab half. When I'm around my black half, I act more black and I fit in with my black half. But I don't really completely fit in with either side. And that gives me the unique ability to step back and observe and see both sides without bias from a completely different angle. I'm hoping that will give me a unique reaction to this. Let's dive in.
My name is Bruno, and I became a black person.
No one knew that I was actually black when I had my white makeup on.
For 6 weeks, two families, my family and the black family, got together in a house in the valley in LA, and we decided to swap races. We'd go into makeup and become the opposite race. We became black, they became white. Then we moved in together.
We're talking living together, it's not like, we're gonna see them for a little party, get together, and they go their way and we go our way. No, at night, we all live under the same roof.
The whole experience, it opened my eyes, just made me more aware of my race. I'm a pioneer in this because this is something that's never been done.
Changing color to see what it would be like was completely transformative. We got jobs, went shopping.
Hey, white man. We would go out together. He's the honky.
We were undercover. We had hidden cameras. We were sneaking around. Hello. We did it all.
We're the Wurgles, a typical white American family from Santa Monica.
I just wanted to really poke into the issue of race and see if any flames would emerge. My mindset in life I get from my father. As an immigrant, came to this country starting from scratch and demonstrated that you get what you want by working extremely hard.
I've never played this game before. I don't know how to play.
I was curious to see how the world would react to me as a black person. Many times I was shocked.
I feel racist.
We are the Sparks family.
We just a typical black family from Atlanta.
White family here, Vietnamese here, white here, Mexican here. Very diverse. We're just like the UN, baby. Growing up in Michigan as light-skinned, green eyes, big afro back in the early 70s.
It was tough. I had to fight the darker-skinned blacks because I was too light. And then I had to fight the whites because I was too dark. So I had racism from both sides. Being white felt different. Wow. Very different.
I was raised in a very liberal home, and my folks were involved with the civil rights movement. So I had compassion for people who have suffered. By putting on another skin, I wanted to have a sense of what it's like to be black.
I was raised by two hardworking parents who taught me to not use race as an excuse. You, as an adult, should know that you just don't call a woman a bitch. I didn't know that. I really didn't know what to expect, but I didn't know it was gonna be that intense.
She gonna be crying a lot. She keep me though.
Shit. I mean, I like it, but it's not something I would wear.
Oh, I thought you liked it.
I would love to sit here and say that everything was just great, but it wasn't.
Oh, you have lost your damn mind. You can't act black.
I'm kind of waiting for somebody to go, hey, nigger.
But is that gonna happen?
It's not gonna happen. You know, that word was still, like dynamite.
I got angry sometimes at being misunderstood.
I don't want to have to choose my words.
You want to sit on the little lily white pedestal and say shit is not happening in the world, and that's bullshit.
Bruno, don't piss me off. What happened between Bruno and myself was really challenging.
You have these judgments that I think you have no right to have.
I knew we had differences going into the project. I didn't know how great those differences were.
What are you going to do about it?
I don't know how we're going to make it.
We did something no one else has ever done.
I don't like being made up.
And none of us will be the same again.
Before we continue, I want to talk about their makeup. He does not look black. He looked like one of the 9/11 bombers. Myself being half Arab and Muslim, I can say some shit like that without no one getting too offended. So, I'm putting it out there. He looks like a darker-skinned Hispanic person or an Arab to me. And trying to jump into the shoes and look like someone else's race goes a lot deeper than just skin tone and looks. Everything about the way he looks right now screams he is not a black man. I would never mistake this brother as a white man. He looks Hispanic or maybe Middle Eastern of some sort. But he also looks like a fucking creep. With that weird ass smile he got on with just a mustache. He definitely looks like he wears a long trench coat jacket with some teddy bears and candy in it. Now her, I think they did a decent job with her. To me, she can pass as like a browner skinned biracial person. And she's younger, so I'm guessing she hangs around a more diverse group of people. So it would be easier for her to fit in. But I definitely wouldn't think that she's white. They did a good job with her. I don't know what they were thinking with her. This should be offensive. They made this picture look like a fucking mugshot. I'm hoping as the show progresses that they fix up her makeup a little bit, because I don't even want to comment out of fear of me being offensive on this. Her, again, she doesn't look like a white woman to me. She looks very, very Hispanic to me, but also looks very fake. The way they did her makeup is giving off white chicks type of vibe. No one in their right mind, at least from my perspective, would assume that this is an actual white woman. Tell me your thoughts on how they did their makeup in the comments. But let's keep the show going.
Guy, because that's a predominantly white sport. I wanted to see how it would get treated.
You have a pack of teas as well? Good deal, good deal. Okay, well done. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, terrible. I talk to people that I wouldn't normally talk to. All right, you got a pretty good stroke going there. That's why I come over to see what you're doing here, so I can try to straighten my game like that. There you go. We're shopping for clubs, so we're just interested to see what kind of clubs you use.
Yeah, I have these custom made at some little shop down in Burbank.
Oh, okay. I feel very accepted, as if I was one of their own. Appreciate your time. Your name?
I'm John.
John Brian White.
My first time as a black girl, I went to South Central. Going undercover in the black world is amazing.
People were talking to me like, my sister.
See, Lee was trying to holler.
What?
Holler means he's trying to go out with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was liking you, like digging the way you look. Look at you trying to get a boyfriend.
When I'm in black makeup, I wasn't like scared. If anything, I was just like, I look black. People regarded me as a black girl.
It was selling.
I needed a pair of shoes, so I went shopping. As a white guy, I'm relaxed when I'm shopping. I put on my white makeup and I'm having fun.
Okay, answer any questions for you?
I like these two here.
Okay.
I kind of like that one better.
What size do you wear?
11. And then the most amazing thing happened. The guy actually took my foot and put it in the shoe and put a shoehorn in the back to make sure my foot slide in. That feels good.
This kind of shoe should be pretty comfortable right from the start.
I have never in my life had someone, they come out and give me my shoe. But I've never had anyone actually unlace it, open it, shoehorn the back, and slide my foot into the shoe.
Is this what the white guys get? This all the benefits they get?
It's never happened to me black in 40 years.
The first time I go and buy shoes as white, I have it done. I was like, wow, the possibilities are endless.
This guy is a trip so far. He's giving off tell me you're broke without tell me you're broke type of vibes. He was surprised at how all those white men at the golf course were treating him. But then again, he said he never felt comfortable approaching them and talking to them like he did when he was in whiteface. So how can you compare the experience if you never went to that golf course as a black man and interacted with those white men as a black man? I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist, because it 100% does. But what I am saying is sometimes we assume shit, and sometimes rightfully so, based off our history and our lived experience. But oftentimes those assumptions could be wrong. But let's change directions on this for a second. I do 100% feel that some people in the white community feel more comfortable or feel more at ease around people who are closer to their own complexion. I'm going to bring this up a lot, so strap in for it. As a biracial man, as a man who is half black and half Arab, being my complexion with my features, I'm often considered the safe black, but I'm around a group of white people. For some reason, they feel comfortable asking me questions about black culture that they would never ask a darker skinned person. Questions that come across as racist as fuck. Because again, he doesn't look like a white man to me. So the difference in treatment that you are perceiving could just be that you look like one of the accepted minorities or the model minorities to them. I don't know, I babble too much. Let's continue on.
I have no idea what it's going to be like to live with a black family. I have the sense that I'm heading into something difficult and profound.
I think everybody was trying to size each other up when we walked in the door. You know, see how their reaction was when they saw us. Were they pleased or displeased or scared?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Very good. Thank you.
When we first met, it was kind of intense.
And a basketball.
We saw
It's all new for everyone. The nerves of not knowing what to expect. Moving into a house with a family we didn't know. In a home we weren't familiar with.
I like to come when I'm getting ready to cook, but the kitchen's clean. The dishes.
Renee seems very strong-minded, very clear about what she thinks.
Somebody uses the kitchen when they're done, they walk out, it should be just like they came in.
Bruno, he seemed like he was a pretty grounded guy. Thought, yeah, I would hang out with Bruno. How'd you guys, when you first saw each other, what'd you think?
That was intense.
Oh, yeah.
Was it?
We walk in, and he's this beautiful, warm black man. I fell in love with him.
Ding, ding.
Well, when I first met Carmen, I thought she's weird. She seemed kind of emotional.
Nick is very introspective. He was the quiet one of the bunch. Lock on the door. We don't want the black people stealing anything.
My mom and Bruno don't exactly spend a lot of time with black people, so I think I'm a little nervous that they might say the wrong thing.
First thing we had to do was teach each other how to pass as the members of the other race.
We're going to help each other walk the walk and talk the talk.
All right, so we got to help y'all pass black.
Yeah.
I was figuring I would walk in and just basically high five everybody.
Oh, hell no.
High five and everybody.
No, I keep thinking there's something in the walk. Don't you think there's just some kind of, let's say, the walk? Yeah. I was thinking kind of having a white guy sort of more straight, whereas a black was sort of like just a little bit of roll.
That's not really bad.
It's just sort of
It's not really bad. And the biggest thing, if somebody come up to you, is hand, keep it in the middle, because we don't want none of this touching.
We don't touch.
Just come in.
Can it close thing or
It's it can be open. White guys come and hug like this.
Right.
Like this. Straight up and down, nothing to block.
All men do that.
All men do.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do we really want to be like saying, okay, so that's what most black people do, therefore I should do it to blend in? Because I know that like all of us are trying to learn about the other race, but it's so much in like the language of stereotype. I don't know yet if I'm going to feel comfortable putting on an act. I'm comfortable being me. I don't want to just be sending out bullshit.
It's all about pulling it off. Somebody say what's up, just say what's up. Don't ask them what they do.
Would that take you a little bit aback?
Yeah, a little bit.
So there is a difference in the black and white.
Yeah,
Much more
because I've
open.
seen white women just come up to me and it's like, what she want? Why she bothering me? Why she asking me all these damn questions? Some black people be like, damn, why you want to know all that? Why you all in my business?
I think I asked too many questions.
No. I mean, just don't go in there friendly.
highly ho neighbor, that's curious.
That's a generally held belief.
Hell yeah, I'm very curious. I do a lot of things that everybody don't do. I'll give you all the white things that you do, and then you'll say curious. A tornado coming by. A white person coming behind it in a truck. Now it's a legitimate profession called storm chasing. I'm not chasing the storm. You know what I'm saying? You're laughing because you know it's true. That's white.
Is it your sense that blacks generally look down on whites?
No, we don't look down on you. It's just your nature is to be more curious than ours. Your nature is to, if you hear a noise, to find out what the noise is. We hear noise, we're getting away from the noise, and we're worried about what the noise is later.
I wonder why if those differences are true, and certainly right here they're playing out. Wow, this is all really interesting. I am never around, or very rarely around, black people.
Really?
Yeah, and to have this kind of...
So we got a few things to unpack in that clip we just watched. One, them living together. It is a good way to learn each other, but I foresee a lot of problems with that. These two families were intentionally picked for their biases, so we're definitely going to see and hear a lot of tension. Bruno, for example, right off the fucking rip, said behind closed doors with his wife in his room, let's lock our doors, we don't want the black people stealing anything. Was that supposed to be a funny joke, Bruno? Because it wasn't. Bruno gives me the vibes that he's doing this just because he wants to be able to say the N-word. And maybe he figures if he's cosplaying as a black man, then he can say it without getting punched in the face. So far, I think Bruno's coming into it with all the wrong intentions. But I tell you one thing about Bruno, he seemed to really enjoy putting a little swag in his walk. But if you notice some of the first things they point out and ask questions about, like how black men walk, gives a real in-depth insight into their biases. This lady seems like the typical liberal. Well, white liberal. She feels like she has good intentions, but is 100% unaware of her own racism and bias, and has no fucking clue about what she's getting into or how she needs to watch what's coming out of her mouth. And that oftentimes gets white liberals in trouble. But in my personal opinion, white liberals are some of the most racist people on the planet. That's a whole different video though, I don't want to get into that. But I do also think that this is a TV show, and for the sake of it, the black family shouldn't go so hard on this white family when it comes to inherent racisms and mistakes when acting and trying to fit in as a black person. They may say some offensive shit. Instead of getting angry and going at their throats, educate them on it. This is the perfect opportunity. But I really do think she is going to clash with her. Black women often do not speak their mind. They're not afraid to tell you what it is and how it is. And 9 times out of 10, it's out of love. And it's often just the personality and part of the culture. Someone that's not used to that is going to be easily offended and is going to assume that she's angry at her or upset or attacking her when she's just being her. Now she's also one of those white liberals. Already starting off saying, I don't want to do this based upon stereotypes. Well, that's all you got for this show. The reality is you're not a black woman. You're a white girl in blackface. And you're supposed to try to blend in as best as possible. In my opinion, her white privilege is already showing. She doesn't want to go along with the program because she feels being herself is best. And she's used to doing what she feels instead of what she's told. I think she might have a lot of issues too. I think he's going to butt heads with the white family the most. This is just my opinion on it, but I feel he's looking to be offended by something. When the whole basis of this is it's a show. You have no clue what it is to be a white person and what they go through every day. And they have no clue what it is to be a black person and what they go through every day. So I 100% feel that guards should be let down a little bit. The type of vibe that he's giving off in this show is one of those dudes that gets offended when a white kid that loves hip hop and loves black culture is rapping along with his favorite rap song and says the N-word with the song. But he gets so offended by, oh my God, oh, how dare you, you're racist. Not knowing or understanding, or even caring to understand, that imitation is the greatest form of flattery. And that young white kid who was rapping that song with all his heart and soul loves and admires hip hop and black culture. And is probably your biggest ally. They haven't shown the makeup of the son yet. When they do, I'll do a breakdown of that. Let's get back into it.
are going to be black people in a focus group of all black people.
It'll be a panel of black people talking about race and racism. I feel totally confident that no one will be aware of the fact that I'm a honky.
Bruno walked in before me. I came in as the last participant to this all-black panel. I felt nervous, like, are they going to accept that I'm black? It was scary.
It was great. I knew that Brian was behind the two-way mirror, and he had given me some advice on how to be black. He told me to sort of just kick back, don't have great posture, lean to one side and sort of slouch in the chair.
I was mindful of not being overly inquisitive.
What do you see today as the biggest difference between being black and white in America?
When I think of white people, I think ethnocentric. Very much like my way of seeing things is the best, most correct way. And anything that's different than that, I don't want to get to know.
It's assimilation. It's kind of like as long as we assimilate and do what they do, we're okay. But if we're kind of like off on the side doing our own little thing, you might be a little bit intimidating.
Seems like that's just the way it is. This world is dominated by white people, and I don't think it's any way that we'll ever be considered equal.
Because they just talk at you anyway. Mm-hmm. I'm a grown man, you be having them talk, hey, get over there, hey, get this, pick that up, hey, get over here, It's like, wait, I'm a man. They don't even talk to their kids like that.
There's a world there that I got to have an eye-opening view of. It was pretty amazing, and very enlightening to experience just a taste of what it's like for the black world.
Fly on the wall and see how whites act when blacks are nowhere around.
I'll be able to, actually hear what they say when I'm not in the room. But I'll actually be in the room.
She's working like a white woman.
My name is Brian. I enjoy building computers, things like that. I like fixing things with my hands.
My name is Renee, and my hobbies, swimming, tennis, shopping.
How prevalent is racism still in today's society?
I want to think that everybody is treated equally, and you know what? They're not.
I had an experience where I was managing a girl who was black, and she had the worst attitude I have ever seen. I wanted to fire her so bad. It had nothing to do with the color of her complexion. Whatever I would have to document to fire her, I'd have to have an even longer list to make sure that we're not sued.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Yesterday, there's a black guy behind the counter, and my friend tipped him and put a tip in the jar and said, "Thank you, brother." And the guy said, "Watch how you say that."
Only black people can call themselves brother or even the N-word.
I don't look at a black person and say, I want to do harm. But sometimes there's these innate things that I think have been taught that, I shake someone's hand that's black and my instinct is to wipe it or something. I am very conscious of it afterwards and I feel horrible about it, and it takes work to switch that around.
When he said that, I was like, wow.
The guy just shaking when he was telling us that. You could tell that really bothered him.
I knew that racism was there, and I thought I was prepared for everything, but when I actually donned the white makeup, I was shocked.
Let's unpack some of the things we saw in both of those clips. In the first clip, there was a part where they asked about the N-word and Bruno started giving his opinion on it, which was way off, but I couldn't show that part without getting some type of strike on me, so I edited it out. But if you look at the stark difference between Bruno and his wife, and how they're receiving and understanding what they are hearing, Bruno comes off as really arrogant, as if he's looking for a reason to say, I told you, black people are more racist than white people. And he really, really wants to say the N-word. It's fucking crazy how bad this guy wants to say the N-word. I mean, I'm biracial, I'm half black. My father's a black man from Mississippi. Through him, I'm a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade. I've done the research, I've traced it to a plantation in Virginia. I don't say the N-word. I have no need to say it. I don't feel like I want to say it. So it blows my mind why this white man wants to say it so damn badly. Maybe it's because I can say it and not be stigmatized. I don't know. That always blew my mind how badly some white men really want to use that word. His wife, on the other hand, the white liberal, I can't tell if she's trying really hard to virtue signal or if she's really taking this in. This is really insightful for her to really sit back in a group full of black people where you are cosplaying as black, not doing a very good job, clearly, because anyone in their right mind can look at you and tell that you ain't black, man. But cosplaying as black and get to see some of the insights, some of the emotion of what some black people experience every single day. I'm on the fence with her. Let's go to this brother. I think that he really believes that when black people are not around, all white people just have their own individual Klan rallies or something. That they just sit around and talk about their white privilege and how much they hate black people. And that is far, far from the truth. And for the life of me, I don't understand where that mindset came from. And to me, that mindset is kind of racist in itself. He was genuinely surprised that some of those white people in there had no issue with someone because of the color of their skin. Sometimes it's a clash of personalities. Sometimes an employee comes in having a really fucking bad day and they bring it to work and they have to deal with that. But when it's someone of the opposite race, like if you're a white person dealing with that with a black person, this clip gave insight of all the extra steps that these white people go through to make sure they're not called a racist, that their actions aren't seen as racist. This is a side of the story that most black people don't get to see. And when it's talked about, it gets demonized. And if you really look at that clip and what that lady was saying, or what that other white man was saying, you can see the frustration. They have to go through a whole bunch of extra steps and extra hurdles to interact with black people so that they don't offend anybody. I'm not saying that they're inherently offensive. I'm just saying imagine having to walk on eggshells 24/7. Because anything you say or do could come off as racist, and they are terrified of being labeled a racist. I'm trying to look at it from both points of view here. Some may agree, some may disagree, but I want to highlight both ends. What really hit home for me was when that white man said sometimes when he shakes a black person's hand, he goes to wipe it off. That's his first instinct. And he was shaking. He seemed ashamed of that. Like he was really struggling with that. Maybe it's because I'm biracial, I don't know. But I feel sorry for that man. He found something disgusting about him and he wants to change it and he's struggling to change it. Racism is fucking horrible. It's ugly. It's disgusting. He knows that. But we got to understand that racism is also taught. No one's born a racist. It's a taught behavior. And sometimes the hardest thing to do is to break the behaviors and ideals and things that you were taught and raised up with as a child. Renee just doesn't look like a white lady to me at all. She looked like a light-skinned black woman in that video. At best, biracial, but she still looked black in that particular clip right there. Go back and look at it. But there was a lot to unpack in that clip. I try to give my opinion the best I could on it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree or disagree with me? Did you see something I didn't? Now on to the next clip.
Very curious to see if I am reacted to differently as Black Bruno than I am as White Bruno.
I'm in this project to see if black people are just the same as white people. By becoming a black girl, I want to see if I can identify with other black kids and learn about their culture.
Today, I'm going out to look for a job as a white Brian in an all-white community. I would like to see it will be easier for me as a white man to get a job because I'm white. But when they see me, they'll see likeness. It'll be easier for me to fit in.
Hey, you must be Brian.
Brian.
You're here for an interview.
I sure am.
All right, well, let me just take you over to a table, and then we'll get you to fill out some stuff.
Leo's Bar is an all-white neighborhood, and I would like to be a bartender because alcohol brings out the truth. If you're a bartender, if black was brought up in a white surrounding when the patrons are drunk, I think it's much different than sober.
You don't have a job now. You haven't had a criminal record. We need to do a background check on you. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just, thrilled you guys interviewing me, give me the chance for this.
Oh, once you're on, you're part of the family.
Okay. I like that. I got the job. Thank you for this opportunity, and I promise I won't let you down.
Oh, I know you won't. I know you won't.
They told me, welcome to the family. They knew I was white when they said, welcome to the family. I'm in the Leo family. So I'm white now, so I'm in there.
Today I went to the mall and I met Duran and Poetry, who are in charge of a slam poetry class. They knew that I was white, but I was still in black makeup.
You know anything about that poetry, Jim?
No.
We teach poetry workshops. There's so many beautiful poems out there, but they're not performed right. We teach performance and writing skills.
I like to write poetry, and I've never learned how to. I've written it myself.
If you write poetry, we're like, oh, you're in the house.
I'm really excited about taking this poetry class because I want to know what it's like to be Black. I want to immerse myself in the culture.
Do you have any poems
like in my head?
Or in your head, or do you have
Or
any written?
down that you would have memorized, only because the first class, at least, right, we're going to have everybody, like, read something, or at least, and
So we can see where you are.
what we need to work on.
Wow.
And it's easier if you have it memorized.
I've got an assignment, and I'm downright feeling intimidated. I've never tried to do slam poetry. It's scary for me to know that I've got so much potential to fail.
Anything that'll, like, speak about you or something that you can memorize.
Well, I can always do one tonight and just work on it.
It'll have to be memorized.
Yeah.
Okay.
And written.
Today I went to several car dealerships to see if I'm treated any differently as a Black person.
I've spoken to Black friends. They'll say that you don't know what it is to be the Black man who's looked at with suspicion. Somebody looks at me and they have hatred because I'm Black. That will be soul-shaking.
Let me get the case for you. Okay, thank you. Appreciate your time.
What do we do, honestly, what do we do to our air business today?
It's kind of interesting. I was on the lot no more than 20, 30 seconds before somebody would notice me and come right over to me. What if you don't have such good credit? When I tell them that I have lousy credit, they tell me that I'm going to have to put more money down. I think that's rather standard.
Didn't seem to me that anyone was keying in on my blackness.
In general, I got excellent service, and I'm finding that I'm treated exactly the same, whether I'm Black or whether I'm white.
Let's unpack a few things here of those clips. One, I can't get over his mustache. Why'd they have to give him the porn stash, man? He's got the whole porn stash going on. No beard, no nothing, just porn stash. Come on now. He went to an all-white neighborhood to get a job at a white bar because he's hoping they will get drunk and say a bunch of racist shit about Black people. Because again, in his mind, he feels that when Black people are not around, white people have their own independent Klan meetings, essentially. He is looking for that racist gotcha moment. Something to validate his thoughts that all white people are racist. And if that's truly the case, I hope he is sadly disappointed. Maybe it's just me, but the privilege is just screaming from her. But I'm really excited to see how she does in this poetry slam. I think it might be a humbling experience for her. I think Bruno is the opposite of him. They are both looking for that gotcha moment. He wants to prove that there's no such thing as racism, that Black people are just making it up. And because Black people are making it up, they're racist themselves. So he goes into every encounter with that mindset where he wants to prove racism exists to validate all his feelings and assumptions. He wants to prove that it doesn't exist to validate all his feelings and assumptions about Black people. I think Bruno and Brian are two peas from the same pod. I think they're cut from the same cloth, just from the opposite end of the spectrum.
It's angry biracial.